Hey everybody, welcome to the Sylvania Rams football show. I'm the Howard Chaney along with Coach Brad Waldrop of the Sylvania Rams. Coach Waldrop, thanks for joining us tonight and another tough loss this past week.
Yeah, ain't no doubt about that. But you know, just you got to try to just keep pressing on and try to find the good in the bad. Um, Sometimes you feel like you are looking for a needle in a haystack, looking for the good when it comes to a game like Friday night. But the kids did play hard. Um, just make a lot of mistakes. Still some stuff is pretty new to them, and not having any kind of experience with um, executing, your rules and your understanding of, offensively and defensively. Um, the lack of experience is the thing we're really trying to overcome, and then obviously the turnover battle. Got a young quarterback, and um, threw two interceptions again Friday night. It's just one of them. Ball just kind of got away from him. Made the right read on it. Didn't do a very good job of locating. Did see what he needed to see. Just obviously didn't put the ball where he needed to put the ball. And the second one, we had created a turnover of our own, and trying a little quick change and maybe take a shot. And the shot wasn't there, and lack of experience. Don't understand. Hey, it's 1st and 10. Just sell it out of bounds and play the next one. He tried to force it in there. And that's the way it goes, And then had a couple fumbles. The first drive we're moving the ball fairly well, and just put it on the ground. So we're, and then again, a lot of that comes from, reps. Maybe we're not getting enough inexperience. So hopefully all that stuff gets cleaned up as we keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And, something you don't want to talk about, and I'm not really going to talk about it, but I am going to mention it. A lot of these kids, third coach in 3 years. And so it's different philosophy, different techniques that they're having to learn. And sometimes those kids may drop back into something they learned last year before last, not realizing, oh no, I'm supposed to be doing it a different way. So, people got to take that in consideration as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a challenge for the kids. Um, you know, they, it's on, well, can't really say it's new anymore, but it's still newish. So, and they are getting better at some things. It's just not as clean. Obviously, it's not as quick as it needs to be. We're still doing a lot of thinking versus reacting. And anytime you're thinking on the football field, you're going to be slow, especially on defense. And that kind of where we were at Friday night. Jordan's a really good football team. You got a really good offensive line. Their skill guys are explosive, and you don't have time to think in a situation like that. It's got to be a reaction, and we're just not reacting the right way yet. So we just keep working on those things and keep doing what we're doing and try to get better at what it is we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, you kind of jumped into my next question slash comment. I was going to ask you, do you think they're overthinking and not just playing football? They're overthinking everything.
Well, you can't help but think because it's a mental game. Obviously it's physical, um, but it's mental. Um, if you're not in the right place, you can't make the play when it presents itself. And to be in the right place, you got to go through that thought process and execute whatever that technique is that puts you in that position to make that play. So, but having to think in live action, that's hopefully going to get better the deeper we go. The further we go, the more reps we get, the more practice we get, the more live looks we get. We get better at reacting versus thinking.
Yeah. Kind of, before we went live, we kind of talked about a little bit about the game beforehand, and I said a plus was the penalties. I think you only had two penalties Friday night compared to what you've had the first three games. One of them they got you when the offensive line shifts everywhere, and that was they got you on that one. That's the only time they got you, and they tried it several more times during the night. And then the other one was I think it was a holding and kind of questionable on that, I think. So, but anyway, main thing is you cut the penalties down tremendously compared to the first 3 weeks.
Well, I think the kids done a better job of, um, I guess overall focus, um, trying to try and not necessarily um, trying to commit penalties when we were committing those penalties, but having a sharper mindset when it comes to those things.
We're going to move on from Jordan's because that's in the past. We're looking to the future, and some people's like, well, the season's done. Season's not done. I mean, you still got a chance to make the playoffs if you run the table, uh, and just play hard. And that's one thing we talked about before we went live. Kids are playing hard, and you can't say that's one of the issues because they are giving it all they got.
Yeah, they're playing hard, and Lord no, it's a long ways from over. It's a long ways from over. I mean, we're 3 games in, so it's a long season. And, we ain't by no stretch of the imagination throwing in no hat or no towel. We're just trying to get better every week. Just keep chopping wood, keep our head up, and just try to improve at what we're doing.
Absolutely. And this week you got a big game. It's another region game against Whitesburg Christian, and also it's homecoming week. So I guess my main question on this is homecoming week, distractions, and all that. How do you handle that?
Well, I just try to make sure that they understand that we got to keep the main thing the main thing. Um, I think homecoming. I don't think it's a bad thing. I obviously I think it's good to spend time with friends and spend time with family and enjoy your classmates and all that other stuff. But if we wasn't playing a football game, we wouldn't be having homecoming. So we just gotta make sure we keep the main thing the main thing. Can't let the outside distractions get in, mess with our dang heads because obviously um, we're not we're not none too sharp mentally as it is. So we don't need anything else in there dancing around.
Right. And for people that don't realize and maybe new to the show, which I mean, we do have some new people occasionally, but most everybody knows this is going to be your first home game. You've played 3 games on the road so far. How does that help or hurt you playing those 3 games on the road with such a young team that you got?
I I don't know how. I don't know if it makes much of a difference or not. Um, Pretty much no matter where you play, the field's going to be painted off the same width, same length. Um, Obviously we won't have to travel, so we won't have to get on the bus. And with the younger guys, it could have an effect on you. You get that 45 minute to an hour ride that can cause your mind to wander and um, not stay focused on the task at hand. But um, you know, not something we should really be concerned with there. Obviously, it's the same game no matter where you play it. It's we just got to worry about what's going on in between the lines.
And as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, it's homecoming week, and not it's technically a homecoming week for you. It's going to be your first coaching at your home stadium with your where you graduated from, the field that you played on. What's going to be your emotions when you walk out there for the first time?
I mean, I'm gonna be excited. I mean, it definitely means something to me. This place is special to me, and that field's special to me. And I'm looking forward to stepping on that grass again with the lights on and being that home box.
We got Whitesburg Christian coming in. They've had some tough go of it as well, and they've had a little bit of success early on this season. Tell us a little bit about them, if you will.
They're a pretty solid football team, Howie. They got some good guys up front. Their interior, I think they're a solid offensive line. Skill guys. They've got a couple wide outs that can run, catch the ball. They got a running back that runs downhill. Pretty good runner. He's pretty explosive, um, shifty. Quarterback throws a good ball. Those wide outs, they'll go catch it if it gets in their their catch radius, they're pretty good about catching the football. They've got the ability to, to break a big play here and there. And, um, you know, I think they're a solid offensive football team. Defensively, about the same. Obviously, they're a 3A school, kind of like the rest of us. They're in a region. They're going to play, quite a few guys both ways. So some of the guys that are playing offense, deep line, they're playing D line. One of the O linemen plays a linebacker. Running back, he plays linebacker. The quarterback's one of the safeties. The wide receivers, they play corner. So, they're very comparable, to pretty much everybody else on their schedule. It's just the way it is. And I think they're pretty solid on defense. The D-line's scrappy. Linebackers run to the ball. And those DBs are pretty good at doing what they do. They cover pretty well. They're a well-coached football team. They play hard. So, it's definitely, going to be a challenge. But it's going to be a challenge every week. It just is what it is. That's what the game is. It's a challenge.
Absolutely. In the region that you're in, there's not no true gimmies in this region that you're in.
Well, it is a solid region, but that's all right. The old saying goes, iron sharpens iron. You don't want to go through the regular season and not be tested. So the ultimate goal, be the best you can be when you get to the end. And you know, the better people you play throughout that journey is just going to make you better when you get to that spot.
Weisberg, you talked about them running the ball, passing the ball, all that. Could you give somewhat of a percentage as far as what run to pass that you've saw so far on film?
They're pretty balanced. I think, as an overall, I think they're like 55% run. So they're about 55 run, 45 pass. So,
Is it hard preparing for a team like that?
well, obviously you got to spend, equal amount of time on both things. But that's, about 90% of the time teams now, in the spread era, um, we've still got some teams in our region, obviously, that are not that, but it's kind of the world we live in. A lot of programs are more spread type, and so you get that more balanced approach where you get, I would say the average spread offense is somewhere in pretty much what Whitesburg is, somewhere between 55-60% run with a 40% pass ratio.
Yeah, absolutely. With in your region, with it being Geraldine, which they probably ran the ball about 90% of the time, 95% of the time. The other night, five, we know what they're going to do. Coach Benefield will throw the ball when he has to. If somebody holds something to his head to make him do it, that's about the only time he's going to throw the ball. Collins will they'll kind of air it out a little bit, but yeah, it's when you face a team like that, it's got to be a little difficult to try and prepare for them because it's so much. I guess what I'm saying is when you're going against Fife, Jordans, and all that, you can basically just try to stop the run, but now you got to stop the run and the pass with the team like Weisberg.
Yeah, it adds an element. You have to, make sure, throughout practice, throughout the week that you pencil in a slot there where you're just basically working with your back end, your secondary, your linebackers and stuff, just kind of a pass scale where you're looking at their routes, what you think might be their best routes, their best combos, and who they're going to try to get the ball to. And, then you flip that, and you gotta you gotta work the other side. So you gotta have an individual period there where you're just working on run fits. So it's not that I don't know that it's harder, Howie. It's just maybe a little bit more time consuming.
I kind of mentioned it earlier. I kind of want to go back to it. Homecoming this week. You won't. I ain't gonna say you won't, but practice time a little bit on Thursday is going to probably be cut down a little bit of time because of the parade and all that stuff. How do you adjust for that?
We're going to practice just like we always practice. Um, if it runs over, it runs over. Um, you know, but generally on Thursdays we're the parade starts at 5:30, so generally by then we're done, so it shouldn't be no issue.
That's good. I know usually in the past, it's something that's new to me and all that was and yourself, I guess, back in the day, the football team never did ride in the parade. They always kind of sat and watched it. But now it's a thing where the football teams ride in the parade. So I didn't know if that would affect your practice much or not.
I don't think it'll have no effect on it. Have
And usually on Thursday, it's kind of a somewhat of a walkthrough day anyway, if I ain't mistaken.
it's usually a little bit lighter. It kind of depends on how Wednesday goes.
And I asked you before we went live, and you commented on it. The spirit of the team, some teams could be down and out, being 0-3, but you said your team was still working hard and everything.
Yeah, the kids are, obviously we're trying to, keep the morale up and understand that, we're just a step away here and a step away there. And, you can show them that stuff on film and they can see it and they understand, it's just a work in progress. And, their, their morale's up, their energy's up, they're practicing hard and trying to make the adjustments that we need to make and fix the mistakes that we're making. And, move on to the next. That's all we can do. Just keep working.
Something we hadn't really talked about. We're going to let you get out here early today. You got a son that's got a birthday today, and happy birthday to him. And we're going to let you go and spend time with the family. But I want to talk a little bit about game film and all that real quick. Something that we hadn't talked about. Do you come together as a whole team and watch it on a certain time, or do y'all just kind of let the players break down and watch it themselves? How does that work out?
We watch game film together, and then we'll watch the opponents together throughout the week as well. We get together as a team most of the time, sometime on Sunday evenings, and sit down and break down the previous week. That way, when we come in on Monday, we're more focused on the next versus the previous. But obviously, if you don't see the mistakes, your understanding of the mistake is not near as good. So if you can show it to them on film, it helps them to make those adjustments and correct those mistakes. And then we pencil in a little bit of film time for the opponent. We'll make a couple of minutes, 15, 20 minutes in the morning before school, where we can sit together as a team and kind of watch what they're trying to do offensively, a day or two, and defensively a day or two. And the kids have access to the film where they can watch it on their own as well. So have plenty of opportunities to put their eyes on what we're about to see.
I'm breaking it down on that 15 to 20 minutes of the opposing team that you're going to face. Who's in charge of getting that 15 or 20 minutes ready for you?
That would be me.
Oh, okay. Uh, no offense, Coach. When we started doing this, you said you wasn't technology sound, so I wasn't sure if you had someone else to do it or not. So,
Well, no, I can do film now.
okay. Good deal. So, but Coach, we appreciate your time. Like I said, we're going to let you. Probably one of the shortest coaching shows we've ever done, but we're going to let you get out. Sorry about last week. We had a mix up on everything, but we got it worked out. And Coach, if we can, we'd like to possibly, if at all possible, next week do the show on a Monday, if that's all right with you.
I don't see no problem with it. How?
We'll do it on Monday, and the reasoning behind it, I'll tell you the reason. The Cobb County Band exhibition is Tuesday at Fort Payne High School, and of course, my daughter's in the band, and family comes first. So,
No doubt.
and if I knew that it was your son's birthday, we would have postponed this for another time. But you didn't tell me until we went live, so or right before we
Well,
went live.
that's again, that's my fault on that one. How it's kind of like last week. I showed up. I showed up Wednesday for last week's show. I done real good.
You lost today sometime last week, so
Yeah, you dang right. I may have lost another one somewhere. I don't even know.
so you won't turn a year older for a day later. So if you lost that day already, so but anyway.
Yep.
Uh, but that's part of being a head coach. You know that you've been a head coach for several years and an assistant coach and all that. When season rolls around, everything just runs together.
Ain't no doubt, buddy.
And we appreciate your time tonight. Wish your young man a happy birthday. And I don't want you to give details, but I know you had a couple of players to get nicked up this past week. Or are they pretty good to go Friday night?
We're working on it. We're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Good deal. We're not the NFL. We're not going to have you to fill out an injury report every day to that participated, not participated, and all that stuff. But
I hear
just
you.
just want to check on your team, make sure they're all good. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is everybody stays healthy.
That's right.
So, but we appreciate it, Coach. And last thing, as always, shout outs, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Oh, you got me again. Shout outs. I always want to give one to my wife. She's always out there in my corner. Um, she works her tail off up here too. She spends about all day up here Saturday cleaning and washing laundry and trying to get stuff in order and making stuff a little bit more arranged. So definitely couldn't do any of this without her. I got some great guys in the quarterback club around here that they do a lot of work behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't have no ideas going on. So give a shout out to those guys. You know, if I start naming names, I'll leave somebody off, but they know who they are and they know I appreciate them. And um, they without there's a million things that have to be done. And if it wasn't for them, it'd just be another something else on my plate. So I'm very appreciative to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Shane and Shanda and Gary, I think it was up there at the band concession stand getting ready for Friday night. First home game. It's kind of hard to believe halfway through the season or nearly halfway through the season, and we're just now having the first game. But that's just the way the schedule worked out. And but who knows? It may work out for us in the long run, Coach.
That's right.
Everything happens for a reason and for a purpose. But anyway, before we get going, hey, whoever's in charge of painting the field this week, let me know. I want to see that high dollar machine paint that field and everything. Y'all think I'm joking, but I'm serious. I want to see it in person. So
I hear
somebody let
you.
me know. Somebody let me know when y'all going to paint the field this week where I can get up there and watch it.
We'll do it, buddy.
So appreciate it, Coach. Best of luck come Friday night, and everybody get out, support the Rounds Friday night. It's homecoming, should be a big crowd, and that's something else I like to mention real quick. And I promise we'll get you out here. Great fan base for all three road games for the first three games of the season.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate those guys. They're they're pushing and cheering, and that's what it's all about. Support the dang kids, and just give them everything you can give them.
Absolutely. So, Coach, thanks for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you Friday night, and best of luck. And thanks for your time. And we're gonna let you get out and spend time with your family. And one last time, happy birthday to the young man that has the birthday tonight. And Coach, if we do anything for you, let us know. And we're looking forward to Friday night bringing home a W.
All right, buddy.
All right, see you Friday night. So
Yes,
thanks
sir.
everybody for watching tonight. Next week we'll have a Monday show. I'll get with Coach and find out exactly what time will be good for him for a Monday. And so that's when the show will be next week. So good night, everybody.